All right, so today we're diving deep into getting you ready for a rotating equipment mechanic interview.
It's a big one.
It is a big one. We're
Yeah.
talking about turbines, compressors, engines,
The heart of it all.
the heart of any industrial operation. And to help us unpack this, we've got not only RoleCatcher's career guide, but their interview guide, which is packed with insider tips to help you land that job.
Yeah, it's like having a secret weapon, really. Plus, we'll explore how RoleCatcher's AI can give your prep that extra boost.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we jump into the interview hot seat, let's set the stage. The career guide makes it clear that this job is so much more than just wrenches and grease. What's the real deal when it comes to being a rotating equipment mechanic?
You're not just fixing things, you're the guardian of these systems. Think preventative maintenance, meticulous inspections, troubleshooting when things go wrong. It's about ensuring everything runs smoothly, efficiently, and above all, safely.
You're like the detective, the surgeon, and the engineer all rolled into one.
All in one.
No pressure, right?
Speaking of pressure, let's talk about the interview itself. The interview guide kicks things off with, describe your experience troubleshooting and repairing rotating equipment. Seems simple enough, but I bet there's a right and a wrong way to answer this one.
Absolutely. This is your chance to grab their attention, not lull them to sleep with generalities. The guide really stresses specificity. What types of equipment have you worked on? Turbines, pumps, compressors. Have you tackled any particularly challenging repairs?
It's about painting a picture, right? Like proving you've been in the trenches, not just read about it.
Exactly. You got to have those stories ready.
This is where I think RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful. I hear it can take your experiences and help you structure those into really compelling answers. Have you seen that in action?
Oh, yeah, it's impressive. You can feed it details about, say, a challenging repair you handled, and it helps you frame your response in a way that highlights your problem-solving skills, technical knowledge, and the positive outcome. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to a question that's all about safety. Something this guide emphasizes throughout. How do you ensure compliance with safety regulations when working on rotating equipment? What are they really looking for here?
They want to see that you live and breathe those safety protocols. Mentioning OSHA regulations is key, of course, but go deeper than that. Think lockout, tagout procedures. Imagine you're about to replace a faulty bearing on a massive turbine. You can't just dive in. You need to isolate the energy source to prevent accidental startups while you're working. That's how you showcase your commitment to safety in action.
Showing, not just knowing.
Right, exactly.
Okay, this next one from the interview guide is interesting. How do you prioritize your workload when working on multiple pieces of equipment simultaneously? I imagine that's a common scenario in this field.
All the time. And this question is all about gauging those organizational skills. The guide suggests focusing on 3 key things: the urgency of each task, how critical the equipment is, and clear communication with your team.
So let's say you've got a scheduled maintenance check on one piece of equipment, but then boom, another one malfunctions unexpectedly. How do you approach that in your answer?
Yeah, that's a great example.
Ah,
You'd want to explain how you'd assess the severity of that malfunction, right? Communicate it to the team and prioritize based on the potential impact on operations and safety.
it's like keeping calm and carrying on, but with like $1 million turbine?
Exactly. High stakes.
High stakes. Okay, I'm curious about this one. Can you describe a time when you had to work under pressure to complete a rotating equipment repair job? Isn't that kind of the whole job description, though?
Right, but they're looking for a specific example that showcases your ability to stay cool and think clearly when things get hectic.
So what are they really getting at? What would make a good answer for that one?
Remember the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result.
Ah, the STAR method. Always a classic.
It works. Lay it all out for them. What was happening, what needed to be done, the steps you took, and the outcome.
So paint the scene for them. A critical pump failure, maybe, that could bring the whole plant to a standstill. Then walk them through your actions, like how you swooped in with your technical expertise and saved the day.
Exactly. You've got it.
Okay, this next one feels a bit more like a process question. How do you ensure you maintain accurate records of equipment maintenance and repair? Why does this even matter so much to these employers?
Well, think about it. Nobody wants a mechanic who's scribbling notes on their hand. Accurate records are crucial for tracking equipment history, identifying any patterns or recurring issues, and planning for future maintenance. It's all about being organized and detail-oriented.
And showing that you understand the bigger picture, right? Like
Yeah.
how important that data is for the long haul.
Exactly. This is where you'd mention your experience with CMMS, computerized maintenance management systems.
CMMS. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. What is that exactly?
So a CMMS is basically a centralized system for all things maintenance. You log repairs, you track parts, Inventory, schedule, preventative maintenance, analyze equipment performance trends. It's all in there,
It's like the air traffic control of keeping those machines running.
pretty much. And mentioning that you're proficient with these systems shows that you're organized and understand how crucial data is in modern maintenance.
It's not just about being handy. It's about being tech savvy too. Right. Okay, back to the interview guide. This one sounds like a chance to really geek out a little bit. Can you describe a time when you had to work on a complex rotating equipment system?
Yes. This is where you get to flex those technical muscles.
Let them know what you're made of.
Don't be afraid to get into the specifics. Talk about the unique challenges you face, the diagnostic tools you used, the steps you took to troubleshoot and repair. Really paint a picture of your expertise.
Did you have to disassemble a massive gearbox or use some sort of laser alignment tool? Give them the detail.
Exactly. Those are the details that are going to make you stand out.
And remember, candidates, this is another spot where RoleCatcher's AI can come in handy. It can help you explain those complex experiences in a way that clicks with the hiring manager.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, speaking of showcasing your skills, the interview guide also asks, how do you ensure that rotating equipment is operating efficiently and effectively? That seems like it goes beyond just fixing things when they break.
For sure. This question is about demonstrating that you're not just reactive, but proactive. You're always thinking about optimization. You might discuss your approach to preventative maintenance, your understanding of performance metrics, how you've implemented improvements that boosted efficiency or reduced downtime, anything that shows you're going above and beyond.
It's not just being a mechanic, it's being an efficiency guru.
Exactly. You've got it.
Okay, let's talk about the last question from this interview guide. This one feels especially relevant these days. How do you ensure you follow all relevant environmental regulations when performing maintenance and repair activities on rotating equipment? It's not just about keeping those machines humming. It's about protecting the planet while you do it.
It's a big deal, and employers are definitely paying attention to this more and more.
So how can someone really nail this answer? What are they looking for?
This is where you highlight your awareness of things like proper waste disposal procedures, especially for any hazardous materials you might be working with. You could also talk about using environmentally friendly lubricants or any other practices that show you're committed to minimizing your environmental impact.
It's like walking the walk, right? Not just saying you care about the environment, but actually demonstrating how you put it into practice.
Exactly. Give them a concrete example.
What would be a good example?
Let's say you discovered a small leak in a hydraulic system. Now, instead of just fixing the leak, you also took the initiative to implement a system for capturing and properly disposing of that fluid, preventing it from contaminating the environment. That kind of thing shows you're not just fixing the problem, but thinking about the bigger picture.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered so much ground here, from the nitty-gritty skills of a rotating equipment mechanic to how to absolutely crush those interview questions. But before we wrap up, I want to swing back to the career guide for a sec. We touched on it earlier, but this guide also goes into career paths and specializations within this field. What can you tell us about that?
Oh, it's exciting. As you gain experience, you can really start to niche down and focus on an area that truly interests you. Maybe you're fascinated by data and using that to predict equipment failures before they even happen. That's predictive maintenance. Or perhaps you're more drawn to the design side, working on creating the next generation of rotating machines. The possibilities are there.
It's not just a job, it's a whole career path.
Absolutely. And it's a career path with a lot of upward mobility.
And speaking of upward mobility, let's not forget about RoleCatcher's AI. It's not just for interview prep. It can actually help you explore those different career paths based on your own unique skills and interests.
Oh, for sure. You can input your experience and it can suggest potential specializations or even related roles that you might not have thought of.
It's like having a personalized career roadmap at your fingertips.
Exactly.
So there you have it, folks. For anyone out there who's feeling pumped and ready to break into the world of rotating equipment mechanics, we've given you the inside scoop on how to ace that interview and build a killer career. And remember, with the right prep and a little boost from RoleCatcher, you'll be well on your way.
You've got this.
Go get 'em.